Yeah, I feel like this deck sideboarded needed 1-drops more than it needed uh playing its taxes. Probably actually not a very good matchup. It needed the 1-mana counter spells more than it wanted Tail's End. Please no Arbiter. Okay, cool. I'll also say about this deck, the first list had Path to Exile in it. It had 4 Path to Exile, but I have found that playing Path to Exile and Spreading Seas is a bit of a nombo, whereas I would prefer to play Anthonice instead. And Anthonice also has some other synergies in the deck with like Teferi and Yorion. However, the one deck where Anthonice like really does struggle compared to Path is Death and Taxes, and obviously we get paired against Death and Taxes immediately. Feels pretty bad, honestly. Still a fine hand here. Definitely gonna keep using my fetches aggressively before they can get a lean and Arbiter down. What is the best turn 1 into turn 2 play you can make into Modern right now? Turn 1 Celestial Colonnade, turn 2 Mana Leak. That's a good question. I mean, you can kill people on turn 2, so probably something involving that. Turn 1 Pinset Prism, turn 2 Balustrade Spy. So I can get rid of my Skyclave Apparition, which is fine. Spreading Seas their Ghost Quarter, I think. I'm gonna play Spreading Seas like largely for the Yorion in my hand. Might as well fetch now. I'm only playing 1 Hallowed Fountain too. I found that in these decks, like without Cryptic Command, it was with no like triple blue spells and want to play a lot of basics anyways, and want to play basics for Anthonice, you only need 1 Fountain. If it's Jace. Nice to have a good Force of Negation target in one of these games. Always feels pretty nice. Trade tokens. Probably, I don't know if we'll see what we draw. I'll just play Batterskull here. Could play Yorion, but I think I'm gonna wait on the Yorion a bit. I'll look for them to like path this, and then I can go Skyclave plus Hold Up Queller into Yorion the following turn. You send me a request for a donation. You're Italian, so I'll wait an email. It's okay. I'll follow the rules. Don't send me an email. I don't know if English is a problem and you don't really understand what I'm saying. But follow the instructions on this Google Doc if you want to dono a little bit. So if my opponent does not give protection from black to their germ token, I will offer the trade. Pretty happy to take the trade since we have Yorion in our hand. What was sus about our opponent not using Giver? I don't really feel like there's anything sus there. 4 mana, 5 mana, so not something we can Queller. Kind of unfortunate. Oh, equip. It's interesting. I guess we go to 1. When I traded Blue Illusions. Oh, I see. Maybe, yeah. Maybe a little sus. Like, just not a super tight play. Teferi bounce Batterskull is a bit risky, but we get to gain 4 life off the germ, so we don't really die too much. Now it was like super high upside play. Yeah, I think I'm fine attacking here. Yeah, we get a 3/3 token. They get a 1/1 if they trade Skyclaves. You can also, you know, of course, Teferi, Yorion the Teferi. They replay the skull. It's been a good game so far. We also get to Yorion the Spell Queller and, you know, delete the Giver of Runes from existence. Yorion such a big swing here. Also, I guess we'll Skyclave there, Skyclave. Oh no! I picked up the Teferi, which I guess I shouldn't have. They actually get their spell in play. That was a mistake. It's fine. I'll Skyclave the Giver now. It'll be fine. The silent clearing. We're still streets ahead for sure. Oh, I even drew onto nice. I don't think I really want to cast it. Why didn't you Teferi bounce the tokens? Teferi comes back on the end of turn, so I couldn't. That's the main reason. Yeah, pretty good reason. I'll double block, I think, with Germ Token and the Skyclave. That's of course assuming that they attack. They path my Yorion. Rest in peace, sweet prince. How much do I love playing Spell Queller? I really enjoy Queller. It's a really fun card to play with, but I also don't think the card is very well positioned. But it's a card I really enjoy playing with for sure. Like, the card is incredibly fun. Okay, so Ontonice is pretty bad against them, but so is Force of Negation. Again, I think this is really the matchup where Ontonice struggles over Path. And it's kind of funny, we got paired against it match 1. But we won anyways, so maybe that downside is not that big a deal. In fact, I think we probably still need to play the Ontonices. And then I kind of like maybe some amount of Ceremonious Rejection on the play. I think I'll just play clicks on the draw though. Maybe one Force is okay. It's like good to force a Vial. Sometimes they cast their equipment, which is a good force target. Can force Path. Matchup's probably fine. We can keep those. I'm saying just needs to draw a land. I'm gonna keep. I would like snap boldness on 7, but drawing 1 land we're like in okay shape, and draw 2 we're in really good shape. A little bit, making a donut deck review. Okay, sounds cool. Looking forward to it. That'll be last in the queue for next week. Did draw the land. Yeah, this deck does look cool. I think that's the main reason to play it, is that it's cool. What do I think of blue-white spirits versus Bant? I think Bant is a bit better. I always find I just don't feel like I have enough gas with blue-white, and Coco is such a good card in the deck, and it isn't that high a cost to splash green. Sure thing, little fit. Man, Path Exile has looked so bad all day today. Just like terrible. I'm just gonna Skyclave the Stoneforge. Yeah, this could be a Yorion deck. I'd be interested in trying to make that work. They can Ghost Quarter Forgiver of Runes if they want to. Spirit is pretty good against us going to Teferi plus bounce here. Probably gonna go Skyclave or Resto the Skyclave. Also Venser instead. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get my block on the Germ Token here with the Skyclave and then Resto and Exile the Giver of Runes. And also if they attack with Spirit of the Labyrinth, which I don't think they'll do, I'll try to block it. I love Restoration Angel too. I prefer the other art, but I got, maybe bad RNG with the mana traders today. I will gladly accept another Path to Exile. Another Plains. And Path is so bad. I just Batterskull. The Spirit makes our Teferi much worse. We could bounce. Alright, we still have 7 mana. Guess we just play the Batterskull. You might as well Field of Ruin first. I didn't think I play 7 basic lands. Yeah. Do I get to draw if I bounce Spirit? I think so, but the problem is the Giver of Runes. Oh, bummer. Big swing. Only 7 mana, so we can't click and equip. I think the play is Venser bounce Giver of Runes, Teferi bounce Spirit of Labyrinth, and Chump Block. Go to 1. Did your Dono get in the queue for next week? Yes, it did. Blue-white turns. Yeah. Should be 3rd for next week. Blue-white turn sounds pretty fun. I've been kind of thinking about something along those lines. Also bounce the Germ token and just not draw a card, but then we can trade with the Venser for something. That's probably better, yeah. If we draw a land, we can like click plus equip Batterskull and hope they don't have anything else. That should be an untapped land, I guess. And does not beat Giver that we knew about. Does Stoneforge get us out of this? I don't think it does. Opponent got Sword of Fire and Ice. Dead, sorry. Game 3. I do like the way we've sideboarded. I don't think I want to make any changes. They've got a lot of like removal spells. I could see playing like the 3rd Force, honestly. Oh, sorry, 2nd Force. Probably not more than 2. You have a redraw click? I mean, I don't really think there's anything we could draw into to survive. Like, Ontonice doesn't do it, and it's like the only spell we can cast if we go Stoneforge, click. Ontonice, they have 4 attackers. Oh, then 3 after the click, and we're at 1. And we're tapped out, not representing anything. We do have the unbeatable combo of Teferi plus Spell Queller. Or at least I'm often led to believe that's the case. What was I eating? Eggs and biscuits that Esther made very sweetly for me. Alright, no white mana for this turn. Oh, never mind. I will take this all day, I think, this deal that they've offered us. They get Batterskull. I kind of like going Teferi, bounce Aether Vial here. And then if they want to kill Teferi, they can't put Batterskull into play. No, I don't think I Skyclave the Vial. I think I Teferi the Vial. We can Skyclave the Stoneforge next turn if they attack. And if they just put in Batterskull, I think that's beatable. Yeah, very beatable now if we draw a blue source. If we don't, we can Desperation Spreading Seas our blue source. Just seize the plains. I mean, they can draw a white source, but maybe that's a good line. This turn we could try to find a land off Spreading Seas and Spreading Seas their white source. Could be good. Yeah, I think their Batterskull just doesn't matter that much since we have a Teferi. A Venser will just bounce the Germ token. We can lose the Teferi. And then like maybe they don't draw a white source, and this is very good. And then obviously it has this upside of drawing a land and also getting to play Stoneforge, which is super nice. Ramen Monkeys, $40. Donut deck for 4-color combo deck. Very cool. So just so you know, that will actually be on January 14th because the queue is getting pretty backed up. If that's not something that you want to do, I can refund you. Just let me know. But I'm definitely down to play a 4-color copycat. Hope you're having a good day today. Also love to hear from the YouTube people. Mickey is in the chat, dude. It's so good to hear from you. How are you doing? Former teammate and current friend, Mickey Humphreys. Just gonna main phase, bounce the token, pass.
You know, I think the first time I met Mickey, he might have hated me.
What?
I think the first time I met Mickey, he might have hated me.
That's not true. Mickey,
you know why?
Why?
Hey, Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Mickey.
No, I actually feel like you made him feel very welcome at that party. That was a crazy party. Mickey, you're in Fort Worth now? Okay, we're gonna, well, once, you know, people get vaccinated and stuff, we're gonna have to hang out. Opponents had to ghost quarter themselves twice, so brutal. I'm just gonna Skyclave their Vial. Might end up pathing my like Venser or Skyclave to double Queller next turn. Yeah, mismatch Stoneforge because I don't have choice over like what arts I get with the rental service. Well, I mean, MTG players don't have crazy parties, but it wasn't a party with MTG players. It was a party with my friends. What? When I first met Mickey? Yeah, the crawfish boil. Or broil, sorry. My good friend Alec drank an entire bottle of Patron. It was crazy. Like, at once. Which wasn't the first time I had seen him do it, but it was... He got way drunker that time. The first time he did it, we were like out camping, and it was like early in the day, and he just kind of sweated it all out. First time submitting a deck donor, let me know if the deck list didn't go through anything. It should be fine if you submit it in the Google Doc. Yeah, Ross, I'll definitely invite you. Like, if you guys are ever in town, you know, assuming the world goes back to normal, yada yada. I'm kind of an old man these days. I think we just pass with either double Queller or Queller plus Stoneforge up. But yeah, Rubbing Monkeys, I don't know if you heard me earlier. It would, because the queue is full, like, you're going to have to be on January 14th. So if that's, like, too late for your dono deck, or if, you know, that's just not where you want it to be, I understand. And kind of want to trade germ tokens here. I understand if that's the case. Just let me know, and I can refund you. I think we're actually pretty ahead, Martinez. Ross says, I'm an old man, but the kind that drinks, hell yeah. Pretty sure I played against Mickey Humphreys in a PTQ in vehicles. Yeah, that Mickey played a lot of vehicles, I'm sure. It's the same Mickey. If they do nothing, we can pick up the skull too. We're just like so ahead on mana that I think it makes sense to trade germ tokens. See if they have another path. They do not. And now we get to Stoneforge Mystic with Queller up. Pretty good. Sure thing, PF Worth. I am happy to provide a bit of relief. It's definitely always nice. I really enjoy the stream too. It's also an escape for me. I know Mickey told me to play around Winds of Abandon, but they need to have 2 more mana and the card in their hand and not be dead by the time it comes down, so don't think I'm afraid. Fear nothing. I think I'm gonna attack with my 2/2s as well. No, Thunderous Wrath is last in the queue. So we have after this we have Sultai, Rogues, and Pioneer, and then Blue-Red Thunderous Wrath as the 4th league, which I'm very excited for that one. I feel like this is gonna be a long league too. I do have one more basic in my deck. I think I'm just gonna grab it now. I could have Avid Mind Sensor. How do you cancel a New Year's Eve party plan? Hello, I can't make it. There's a global pandemic. Can you Queller overloaded spells? Yeah, the CMC of an overloaded spell is still whatever's on the card, whereas X spells, that's not the case. Man, we're out of basics, so bad. Probably not gonna bounce the. Oh right. What a chain of events. And I have to wait an email, or where can you know if we're gonna play it? Littlefit, yours will be played next Thursday, 4th. If you're it'll be next Thursday, January 7th, and it'll be the 4th deck that I play. If let me know if you know the language barrier is an issue and I need to explain further. I'm gonna hold the path, I think. Losing my Sword of Fire and Ice is bad, but I think we're still in fine shape. I'll just equip to the 3/3 illusion, attack for 7. Just pass it back. Is there a way to make an adjustment to a donut deck once it's submitted? Message me here on Twitter. Don't whisper me. Just I like very rarely check my whispers. Just like message me when I'm live. Should be fine. Oh, we win. Thank you, PF, for typing that out, just in case the language barrier is a problem. Not path the apparition to protect the sword. That doesn't. Pathing apparition does not stop sword. It's not templated like Deputy of Detention. It's templated like Fiend Hunter. So if you path the apparition, all that happens is I will never get a 3/3 token from the Leaves Play trigger. Might be good to path their apparition, get a 3/3 and Alpha Strike. I think that I'm on board for this. You could have pathed to stop the Wisp. Oh, I see. Then that was the play, yeah. Kind of want to move this Batterskull over to the human token. Make my Batterskull a bit of a, or the illusion token's like a better attacker, and like this has to be dealt with. That says GG's. Cool match, and it's kind of nice. I'm glad that we won, because again, this is the matchup where Onthanice is worse than Path. It's like really the main one. But I have found that Path to Exile plus Spreading Seas just feels so bad together. And I think that if you want to play both, you probably just want to play Ontanice. And the decks that play Cleansing Wildfire also don't play a ton of creatures. And even the creatures they play are like Shark Typhoon usually. And so if you Ontanice that, you don't really mind getting your Ontanice Wildfired. Keep this hand. Probably put back Vista. Just get Fountain with Strand. Be kind of nice to, well, certainly looking to draw a blue card against Seagate Reborn. Although I guess it's not definitely Belcher or Oops. It's, yeah, okay, now it is. Well, hope we're not dead. So this is a blue card for Force. But we can also Spreading Seas their only black source, which is often really good. I think I'm gonna do that. Like if this is Oops all spells, they need a black mana, and sometimes you can just stop them from having one. And then if they play a mana rock, we can Skyclave it, because they only have actually 8 black lands in the deck. So we'll see how that line ends up feeling, I guess. I'm going to Batterskull. Batterskull also possibly keeps us alive from an attack at least. Yeah, and only 4 of them come into play untapped, exactly. And that's one of them. Bummer. I'll look at the cards. If they've drawn a Sword of the Meek, actually they just get to Phantasmagoria on it. Yeah. They did draw a Sword of the Meek. They also have drawn a Creeping Chill. But we are dead. Oh, let me make sure there's Phantasmagorion in the graveyard. Yeah. They're also playing Belcher in the main, which is not something I think is great. I think it's okay. In this matchup, we have the Rest in Pieces. Clique is decent too. Maybe we don't have enough for this matchup. Rejection actually seems pretty good against them, though. I have found that just fighting over their artifact mana is often like, if you fight over their artifact mana, sometimes they just can't combo. Probably want to cut a Skyclave, at least one. Spreading Seas actually does seem pretty good. At least good enough to keep in. Jace seems tough to tap out for, so does Yorion. The Disputes also fight their Pact of Negations, and also like 3 mana leak is maybe just worth it here. Though what are we cutting? We play 3 Cs. Rest in Peace is the best card for sure. Although they can just Belcher us. We'll keep this. Queller is one of the better cards to have. Force of Negation feels medium if you have Ceremonious in. I kind of disagree. Like, they have Belchers, and they also have Pact of Negations, which are pretty important to fight over as well. Oh, Field of Ruin is also great. Kind of forgot how good that card was in this matchup. I'm playing that Castle tapped here. Also, if our opponent goes like untap black land, Seeming Spear Guide, Balustrade Spy, one thing we can do is just main phase Restoration Angel, and then that'll actually mill their deck, because Queller is not a May ability, I believe. Gotta be a fun line. Could go Stoneforge. I think we just need to hold up the Queller. We could have gone Field of Ruin plus Stoneforge, but the thing is, if they have untapped Black Source plus Spirit Guide, we lose, and our hand is so strong. I don't think we need to, make very risky plays. So if they Pact of Negation, they probably lose because we have Teferi to bounce. They can still target me with Spy. Oh, of course. Never mind then. All right, so now I think we go Field of Ruin. They're green. Oh, I guess I was supposed to tap this so I could actually get another island. That was a mistake. But we'll get Sword of Feast and Famine. So we do lose to untap Black Source plus Spy. I guess I'll maybe leave these back to block. Probably is not relevant at all. Blocking. We can force a Pin-Tad Prism, Charbelcher. They also have to have the untapped black land, which is just like not something they're guaranteed to have. They dead next turn. Discard Mystical. They discard Creeping Chill. We have Mystical Dispute plus 4 subs, so they can't combo us unless they have untapped black land, Balustrade Spy, double packed, which is asking a lot. Yeah, Rejection seemed very good this game. Might bounce the Queller here. Seems good to me. Oh no, I gave him a Goblin Charbelcher. Teferi being in play is just, you know, turns off all their packs. It's really nice. Maybe we do need more Skyclave Apparitions. When they just hardcast Charbelcher, we can Skyclave it. Spreading Seas also maybe feels like a little slow on the draw, so we can play two Spreading Seas, three Skyclave, three Skyclave. Why bounce? You can resto it. I guess that's better. I mean, bouncing it is also a blue card in your hand for force, but that's also, I guess, not that relevant. Mulligan.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
2 months in a row. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good one. Well, I'll keep this hand. The saving grace of this hand is definitely the Field of Ruin. Can maybe just fight them over their mana. Opponent has Mold of 5. Queller is a really good draw too. They Pin-Tad Prism, I'll Force of Negation. Probably need to Force of Negation a Black Source too. Maybe it's better to just save the Spreading Seas for Force with this hand. Especially since if they have a Veil of Summer, it's just such a blowout. And keep cutting them off green basically doesn't matter. Be pretty bad if they boarded in the basic, which I usually don't think the basic land is very good in their deck anyways. I'm going to hold up Queller this turn. Again, we really want to hit their black sources if we can. If they don't play anything, we can Field of Ruin. Target their green mana. The other colors aren't very relevant, although I guess double blue is relevant if they want to like fairly play Pact of Negation, which is not that common for them to want to take that line. Play this, I guess. Life total not super relevant, but almost relevant. Cool. Glad we saved the Spreading Seas. I think I'm going to play out the Restoration Angel as some pressure here. You feel like yeah. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I agree that them playing Pact of Negation fairly is not a concern really. Love to be able to get Teferi plus Queller up. So I'm feeling pretty safe in our position. Can you guys hear the rain outside? It's raining super hard today. Perfect. It's going to be so hard for them to win now that we have Teferi plus 3 mana counter up. 2-0? 2-0? Feeling good? What's a GP? It's a distant fever dream.
Look at me. Look how stylish.
Yes, very stylish with your pocket. Excited for you to be soaked in the rain. Oh, we own umbrellas?
Yeah.
We didn't have to sell them?
It's just that, don't go outside because I have to take that umbrella.
It's the same matchup. It's kind of funny. Yeah. What am I going to go outside for? Oh, yeah, I'm buying champagne. That's fine. I'll send Athena to get the champagne. Yeah, I get to be blue-white Ponza again. Oh, awesome. It's Belcher. Belcher is a much better matchup for your Force of Negation deck. Looks like we may be cruising into 4-0 or 3-0. Sorry. Seeming Spirit Guide into Recross the Paths, and we can Spreading Seas their Batterskull Smashing, so they won't have the red mana to Miracle. Yeah, I feel so bad to that dog too. Man, I don't know. The dog is also like pretty far away from us. It's not even in our complex. It's in the neighboring one. Just there's kind of like a large area, and the acoustics are really loud. Bye, sweetheart. Does Athena know what champagne I like? Yeah, she knows I like any champagne, really. I guess not like the super sugary ones. You're thinking of buying Oops. Do I think anything will get banned? Probably not anytime soon, but maybe at some point. You know, it is good to ask me because I am the arbiter of the ban list, of course. So he's gonna treat out and use the change to buy treats, probably. Oh, she got a lot of treats for Christmas. She got this big bone that she's been dragging around everywhere. I've never seen her so happy, and she's had bones like that in the past, but for whatever reason, she's just so happy to get this one. Well, the Reforge the Soul is probably in their hand, right? So unless they play 2, they're gonna like maybe just get a Blood Moon or something. But Teferi's gonna be very good here to shut off like their Pact of Negations. Yeah, I mean it's not a guarantee that they put the Reforge the Soul on top of, but they probably did. I don't know if I've ever countered Recross the Paths. Recross is pretty soft against counterspell decks usually. Arbiter on the ban list. I know there's like a lot of people who hate Arbiter, but I'm not one of them. I honestly like any card that makes fetch lands worse. I support. We played against a Belcher opponent like yesterday who stacked their deck really poorly with Reforged the Soul. They went for Into the Warrens instead of the kill when they had Defense Grid and the ability to go for the combo with Packed Up and a Defense Grid in play, and I could only counter one of their spells, but they just like made 10 goblins and I escaped Uro and won very easily. Between Belcher and Oops, which one of them is faster / more resilient? Oops Soul Spells is faster. Belcher is more resilient to Graveyard Hate and less resilient to counter spells. Yeah. So Oops Soul Spells is better against like Force of Negation specifically, and I guess counter spells in general. But Belcher is faster and doesn't fold to Graveyard Hate, or like the pros and the cons. Yeah, this is their third Recross the Paths that they've cast. We just keep like we got Spreading Seas, which made their Recross the Paths bad. Then we played Teferi, which I imagine also made their Recross the Paths bad. So they just haven't. They've been running bad, or we've been running well against them. Maybe you're one of those people that hates Arbiter. Like honestly, I just can't hate any card that makes fetch lands worse. Do they even have an out here? I mean, maybe they just maybe they just put 4 Goblin Charbelchers on top of their deck and hope I don't have 4 counter spells. But I've got plenty of answers to Charbelcher. They also can go for Empty the Warrens. I might stack my deck to try to go for Empty the Warrens, but this game is pretty over, probably. Opponent has lost connection to the game. And at the perfect time, as chat is just starting banlist conversation, you know, it's been 2 hours and 30 minutes, about the time to rant about banlist for an hour, right? And say the same thing as every single day, over and over again, that nobody's sick of hearing my same opinions, day in, day out. Same opinions, same jokes, same decks. Guess not the same decks today. Yeah, so opponent loses connection. Talk about what you want to happen in the ban list. Don't listen to anybody else's argument, and then remind me to Aether Gust the token. Those are the three things we do during lost connection here. We got our to-do list. I used to, try to put some effort into the game and analyze some flavor text. I guess we could do that. All right. We're going to do something new besides just complain about the ban list. All right, the flavor text on Turn Timber Serpentine Wood is: the trees here twist around spikes of mana. Spikes of mana, wow. Feeding off flowing power. Yorion Expedition Leader. I like that flavor text. I think it's pretty nice. Feeding off the flowing power kind of rolls off the tongue kind of nicely. Spikes of mana is like a good visual phrase as well. I don't think I have too many notes. I think this one is very good. And then also I even feel like fits the art a lot too. You can kind of see the tree feeding off the mana, turning into a monster. And we're back. I'm gonna pass this turn, I think. Wasn't Jory Andy? Is it Merfolk from Oath? Sounds right to me. I'm not like very in tune with anything in the world. Yeah, there's a lot of like bad flavor text, but I think maybe Wizards is getting better. From the Ancient Grudge days. Conceding to the onboard Field of Ruin. It's awesome. Let's bring I think all the blue cards. Got the Unthanize, Trim Apparition. Spreading Seas seems worse in this matchup. Looks like a good configuration to me. Oh, can't mulligan this hand against Belcher. Ever. Rejection only counters Goblin Charbelcher, but of course, it's, their main plan. Happy New Year's Eve, Gare. Well, hopefully this is Charbelcher and not Empty the Warrens. Although Stoneforge Mystics might still beat Empty. If they have 2 Pact of Negations and a Ritual in their hand, or a Simian Spirit Guide, they can beat this. Yeah. So casual 1 mana 3-for-1 on turn 1. Feels nice, and I'll even play around Blood Moon. Which is a card they play pretty often. Ceremonious Rejection, better than Ancestral Recall there. Because it also costs them mana. I should play at least 1 Teferi, Mage of Zalafir. I disagree. I'll just force the Reforge the Soul. More like Mind Twist than Recall. Kinda, yeah. You could probably be setting on sort of Fire Knights in this matchup. Maybe, yeah. It doesn't sound too bad. Although it's pretty good to maybe just like end of turn, get a flash creature, put a sword on it, start drawing cards. Why not play one copy of... Yeah, Field of Ruin would be nice. Bottom this. Maybe I could keep it, and then that way, if they have Pact, we can still Ceremonious Rejection there. Okay, now we can just Dispute Pact. Yeah, so I'm going to force pitching Rejection with Dispute up to be able to counter Pact if they have it. Although maybe I could keep Rejection, but they should be able to have stacked their deck to cast a Charbelcher with the ability to pay for with Pact of Negation. Plus this is also still a 3-mana leak, which is not too bad. Oh, I like Mantle of Tides. And then we used to get to start pressuring their hand with the sword, and they pack it in, and we're 3-0. 3-0 with blue-white midrange. Very exciting. Why not play 4 Pithing Needle for Belcher? I don't think that's a serious question, but if it is, Belcher's not a bad matchup. And they have emptied the Warrens. Opponent has revealed Jingatha, the Wellspring. So, could be Tron, could also be one of those cool, like, green-blue Karn the Great Creator Keenan decks. They've mulled to 4. Could also be like the Jingatha Prowess deck, which I don't think is very good. Why not let Pact resolve the mana leak the wheel? Why not ask the same question Chet has asked 4 times, and I've already said was the right play when we're already in a new match. That was the right play, but been answered and asked many times already. I refuse to pronounce anything correctly. Yeah, double Spreading Seas versus Tron is very nice, and we get to Skyclave Apparition their map. They kept a 1-lander. I guess they did mold to 5. I think we want to get the map here. Could be right to get the star. It's really nice if they miss their land drop. Am I the Grinch? I wish. I love the Grinch. Me and Esther actually watched the Grinch before on Christmas Eve this year. It's her favorite Christmas movie, and I hadn't seen it since I was a kid, but it really holds up. I really liked it. The Jim Carrey Grinch. They get a forest. Interesting. I might Spreading Seas the forest. Although that means we're not casting Spreading Seas this turn. I think we just want to cycle and maybe find like a Stoneforge Mystic.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Maybe just played out the Skyclave as a 2/2. Chlorkin 5 months in a row. Hope you're having a good day today. Love to see that second month. You're a good long shot. I was mostly just teasing ya. Kind of figured it was lag. Crawling Barrens, geez. Do I want to make a token or do I want to scry 2? I think I'm just going to put the pressure on a bit. Nice.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Lou Mason gifting a sub. That's awesome. 9 subs giftings total to Proto Spice Boy. Welcome to the Shark Typhoon. Sword of Fire. Oh yeah, Sword of Feast and Famine is also great with the castles. A synergy that I've really missed. Sick Brew. The opponent is on. Haven't seen similar Tron before. I do think Crawling Barrens is a pretty good card. I like it. A little underplayed, I think. Need to try and recoup some of the 100,000 channel points you lost when I cast the Cruel Ultimatum. Man. Oh, wow. Opponent's playing Batterskull. Although I think I'm definitely just going to Ontonize. Okay. Opponent is definitely playing some interesting cards here. I have it set still to only one hat a stream. Sometimes I wear a hat of my own volition, and those are the days when you can make the double hat dream come true. Happy New Year, Emma. And Happy New Year to everybody. Here's to a better one. I have hopes for 2021. How many hats would I wear simultaneously? Well, I own, or I guess I should say, I have 4 hats in the rotation for the channel point option thing currently, and so 4. Although maybe I could dig up like 5 or 6 if I had Esther running support. Winning game 1, like before we get to bring in this pile of disputes, is pretty nice. We do have like 3 Field of Ruin, 4 Spreading Seas, which is nice. We do have certainly game against Tron. Probably want a sideboard like this. Can we get an add a hat option? I mean, if you, as part of the option, if you send me an Amazon link to the hat and then the money for the hat, then yeah. But I'm not gonna spend $20 on a hat for channel points. Or maybe if you find a good hat online somewhere, I think it's good enough, I'll just buy it of my own volition. Oh, an option to put on another hat. I see. Maybe, yeah. I think that we could maybe like stack it, like have it be a higher multiplier. Could a wig also be considered a hat? There's a wig over here that's kind of in the rotation. I'm happy to put it on when Esther's here to help me out with it, but I have a hard time having it just not be super messy if she's not here to like put it on me. But I do have a wig here that was from the Ren and 6 costume that me and Athena went as 2 Halloweens ago, and there's only one photo of it before my costume got destroyed by beer. And I don't even know if I've ever seen the photo, but Esther took it and she swears it exists, and I have asked her a couple times to send it to me, and I don't think she ever has. Well, Force of Negation into Ceremonious Rejection is basically the nuts. Hopefully it's good enough. Maybe Spreading Seas would have been better. Hard to complain too much, though. Don't think I want to Rejection the stone. We can Skyclave the stone, or we can just equip the Stoneforge Mystic. I think that I value the stone pretty highly. Or sorry, the sword pretty highly, so I think I'll Skyclave the stone instead. We have another Stoneforge Mystic to wear the swords. Yeah, Canister's cosplay was awesome. One of the better Magic streams ever. I don't think we need to Rejection this. We already have the Sword of Feast and Famine in our hand, and the Rejection just has like really high upside, being able to counter something like Wormcoil Engine, of course. Okay, and now we can actually bounce the orb. Can't Skyclave the orb though. They still have 4 cards in their hands, which is maybe too many to deal with. Also, I probably should have got a Plains there. I think our draw has been pretty good at least. Their hand is Torpor Orb, Urza's Tower, 3 mystery cards. Them not getting a forest makes me a little worried. We can't Skyclave that when they replay the Torpor Orb. Oh, this is fine. Although that does mean that their hand is likely has another payoff. It honestly just like can't mean anything else, so I think we need to hold up Hardcast Force instead of getting the Hill Giant into play. As much as I do want to get the Hill Giant into play for these swords. If like they only have one more threat, it's like a Karn the Great Creator. Yeah, the Sanctum's a problem too. Oh, they just had Ulamog. Okay, game 3. Good to be on the play, which is really nice. We have a lot of good cards in the matchup. We didn't draw any of our like land hate. We didn't draw Spreading Caesar Field of Ruin, but I think we did have a good draw that game. Did opponents sideboard into a normal green Tron deck? Well, we saw, I mean, as they boarded in their Torp Orb, which was probably a Karn 2 to target. Well, gotta keep this. I guess I will not rejection a turn 1 Expedition map, because we have so much hate for Tron pieces here. And then it's really nice to be able to play a threat and hold up rejection and then time walk them and win the game. Might mulligan this hand. I don't know. Even if this was a different land, you know, these are two of our best cards in the matchup, and it's possible I would still not mulligan. Ooh, on the best card in Modern. Ooh, Splinter Twin. Cool. It's an orb. Orb would be bad. Ballista would be bad too. Spike, have you thought about adding Vendilion Clique to your deck? Spike, I really think Vendilion Clique is exactly what this list needs. There's just so many cards that make the 3-mana with 3/1s bad. Opponent probably should not attack. I don't know if they've seen Queller yet, but I'm gonna block. I love Vendilion Clique. I really like Vendilion Clique. I think the card's really fun and sweet, but not well positioned at all. More X1s, genius. Ozstone does kill Spreading Seas. So I probably don't want to play another threat here. Maybe I do. Maybe we'll see if they have another land. Could also draw Skyclave Apparition or Teferi for the stone. I'm gonna put 2 counters on the Blast Zone. They put 2 counters on the Blast Zone. It's good because it kills their O-Stone. Although I guess they don't have to pop it. It's also possible they were missing green, so maybe we weren't supposed to field there. That was a really good draw. Now we just get to sit making tokens and, you know, pressure their Blast Zone. We still have 2 counter spells, and they're really far away from Tron. Yeah, Clique definitely, you know, has game in a lot of matchups, but has you know, gotten much worse as time has gone on. They missed their land drop, so I think we're still pressuring them with the castle because of the O-Stone, but it's possible we can get more aggressive than that. Okay, let's actually Queller this off of the resto. Get more pressure into play, and they missed their land drop last turn, so I think that this has a chance to be good. Of course, the one day I'm not playing Tail's End, although we have other answers that we could draw into. Basilisk Collar resolves. Opponent's playing a very strange version of Tron. Oh, I was supposed to tap white, so I could maybe have Ceremonious Rejection plus Clique or Force, but kind of unlikely that comes up. Hopefully. They dead. 5, 6, no, they go to 1. This looks like an E-Tron player who is slowly realizing that regular Tron is better. I sure hope my opponent is composing a message for me in chat about how my deck is unplayable. That'd be awesome. Oh, that's a really good draw. Maybe. We can play around Spatial Contortion. Oh, we have Rejection up anyway. Sorry, I thought we only had 5 mana for some reason. But I'll play around Spatial Contortion by equipping Terresto. Sort of Fire and Ice would have been lethal. Yeah, that probably was a good reason to get it. I was kind of used to getting Feast and Famine in this matchup. Discard a Karn. Yeah, if they play a land, it's pretty bad for us. Although it's gonna be really hard for them to kill through this Castle Ardenvale, whether a 1 or the Clique. And if they don't draw a land, they lose. Cracking this O-Stone also kills this Blast Stone kills their O-Stone. So puts them just super dead on board. 4-0. 4-0. Maybe this deck is just great. A very, very cool list for sure. And they asked me to build a version of this deck, how I would approach it, while still keeping like the creature centric plan, and this is what I came up with. Gamble for 5-0, sure. Probably should have done this before we saw the matchup. Prediction, are we going to 5-0? I feel like we have an okay hand here. Getting him to Turok on turn 1, but maybe they're really in on the Vial, you never know. And if we don't force the Vial, we're not forcing anything else. Good draw. They also do make pretty good use of blue mana. How am I liking the 4 main board Ontanize? I think it's very good. Like, really the only matchup that Ontanize struggles against, in my opinion, compared to Path is Taxes. And we beat Taxes earlier. It was our first match. But just Ontanize, Path to Exile plus Spreading Seas is really bad, in my opinion. And I've played both together, and I think you just want to play Ontanize instead. And Ontanize also has other synergies with like Teferi and Yorion. I'm really happy that I'm playing 1 Vendilion Clique. I think only the cliques are on the sideboard, actually. It's possible that the list isn't right, actually. So I think I had 1 in there for a little while. No, it's right. Alright, they play a Hierarch. If we get on top with Queller, I'm feeling kind of nice. Alright, feeling kind of nice. 400,000 in the pool. This could be what you voted on. Yes. So if I win, then this could be like the first $1 million redemption. Although most people voted on yes, so you're only getting like half payout. Pretty exciting though. Honestly, these predictions really are making me sweat with the channel point redemptions. I'm not sure how good our matchup is. Doesn't seem very good. Seems maybe fine. If I pull out Mantis Riders, I'll probably resto the Queller. I don't really care if they freebooter my Force of Negation. Yeah, it's just so bad if they attack with just Mantis Rider here. Where was that analysis earlier? Very calculatingly. It was after you guys already bet. No, I think that they can read Restoration Angel possibly, and I would really like the freebooter doesn't matter that much. So keeping the Mantis Rider off the board seems pretty nice to me. It's kind of a combination of all of those things. Thalia's Lieutenant 2 is pretty tough for us, and we draw a Teferi Time Raveler. Okay. Probably bouncing Thalia. We could have also bounced the Queller. Maybe we do that next turn now that we found a second copy. I'm just leaving both of my friends back here. How much did you bet last God? Bounce Lieutenant so it can't grow. 5-head play. Maybe if I have the option to trade Spell Queller, I'll take it before the Teferi dies, although I don't really feel like that's super possible. They have a General Kudro. So now their Freebooter will attack for 4. Are they going to attack me or Teferi? They also have no cards left in their hand. We're definitely behind. No, we're not playing any rats. We're playing a million creatures. Oh, that's another thing. Another gripe I have with these decks is that they often play a billion wraths. Or like some amount of wraths. I think I will trade Restoration Angel. Or I will very happily trade Spell Queller for Thalia's Lieutenant, but they decide that that trade favors us, which it does, I think. Okay, big draw. Yeah, I actually think we should Spreading Seas their Sunbait Canyon while we have the chance. Queller's or Resto is a good draw. We don't have very good blocks. Maybe this was a mistake. I don't know. Letting them sack the canyon is scary. We could also have drawn like Ontanice off the Spreading Seas or like Stoneforge Mystic. Life total is a little low. They did brick. Yorion.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Yeah, maybe I fucked up. Yeah, we have. We can't even. Yeah, we can Teferi, bounce Thalia, and draw Ontanice to survive. That's our only out. Big B, 9 months in a row. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate ya. The Teferi bounce also just didn't seem super strong. I don't know. It's close, maybe. I actually like Mystical Dispute against humans. The more I play this matchup, the more I'm just kind of impressed by it. Spreading Seas is not good, I think, in this matchup. Kind of interested in cutting most of them if I can find room. We could play like the First Gust and the Cliques. I think this is fine. Yeah, matchup probably isn't that bad. We have 4 Ontanice, 2 Path, 4 Skyclave, Stoneforge Mystic. Happy New Year, Lamp. Did we 5-0? We're playing for it. This is what it's like always on Team Believer. I at least appreciate the energy. This hand's very close. I think we have to keep a hand with Ontanice and Path, and just like this hand draws any blue or white source, and it's very, very good. Probably gonna wait on cracking the Strand. Which Venser art is better? I kind of like the original one. Close, maybe. Ding, 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 ding. So now we can get Hallowed Fountain. Hoping that they don't Thalia. If they Thalia, we might have to Path, then so we can go to Fairy, bounce the Vial. It's good to game 3 for the max tension. Yeah, I agree. I'm feeling it right now. I'm feeling the pressure. Is there an effect like Defense Grid for enchantments? I think yes. I think that there are enchantments that punish your opponent for playing on your turn. I'm just kind of blanking on any. City of Solitude, thank you. Yeah. Not Modern Legal, though. I think. Could be Modern Legal. I was confused why you're streaming on Saturday, but remembered it's Thursday. You doing alright, buddy? You doing okay? I don't know if there's a Modern Legal one. Judith, dude, I love Judith. I played a standard P or RPTQ with Judith once. Like a Mardu aggro deck. It's kind of with some like sacrifice themes. Alright, Teferi lives to fight another day. Alright, if they just have 1 3-drop this turn and no land, then we get to block the champion with Queller, and it's pretty good for us. Good luck on the bar future. I've had some friends take the bar and it sounds really, really tough. If they attack with both, I'll, you know, eat the champ. Just the 3/3 champ. I'm not going to path. They're not playing into the Queller, which stinks. Feels really bad. Yeah, they definitely have the read of Queller. I'm just not sure how long they can afford to play around it. I'm going to path the champ this turn. They should have 1 more basic in their deck usually. A second Judith? Second Judith's kind of interesting because we could legend roll them if we bounce the Antonice, but that does come at the cost of 2 damage. That's a lot of damage too. I believe in you, future. Let me know how you do. Is this a dono deck? You're generally anti-click. Yeah, it's a dono deck. Although I was asked to make some tweaks to it. I decided to keep them in, like largely for fun, but they're in the sideboard. And I do think click is generally poorly positioned in the format right now. Well, we could sort of Fire and Ice and kill one of their guys, but then we're just dead. Probably don't want to be just dead. Can click ourselves. Hope to find a removal spell. I think that's the line. Put back Sophie, I think. Still not dead on board. If they attack with everything, we probably double block here. Convince her this next turn. Or not double block here, you know. They drew a human. So lucky to draw a human in their humans deck. We're not dead on board, but we're chumping and then trading and losing our Queller. And we go to 1 and have no outs. Yeah, I think the Jeskai deck is still fine. Oh, this is all. We're out. Sorry, we're just double chumping. They're 4/4s. Sorry, gang. Sorry. To all of those of you who betted on me, I appreciate the belief. No, this is game 2, but we're down a game. No need to be sorry, says Garrel, who voted no. I mean, Verdict, we even died of Verdict because of Judith. Not the cards in our deck. To the 400,000 channel points.